What's up, everybody? My name is Kafui. Welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea, where we have some of our friends from campus share their testimonies with us. Today, I have with me Kat, my girl, period. Love her. That's that. Literally the smartest person you'll ever know.
Stop it.
That's
Stop.
that. She knows. Okay. All right, Kat. You got to tell the people what they need to know. Who are you? What do you do on our campus? And what ministry are you a part of?
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kat. I'm a sophomore psychology major, and I am involved with InterVarsity on campus.
Whoop, shout out InterVarsity.
Woo!
All right, Kat, you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's hear this testimony.
Alrighty. So today I'm going to share with everybody the story of how I got saved. Growing up, I was raised going to church, but, I wasn't really raised in a Christian home, if that makes sense. Um, God was something that you focused on Sunday mornings and before you ate dinner, and that was pretty much it. The town I grew up in was heavily Catholic, and so, I saw a lot of people going to CCD and getting confirmed, and that was pretty much all I saw of Christianity in my hometown. And so based on what I saw, I thought that I was doing everything correctly. I thought that I was a Christian.
Mm.
So that's really my life and my views on that up until about my senior year of high school is where everything started to shift and start to take form. So my senior year, I started to get involved with a boy, which, that's how all bad stories start. So I knew that his mom had raised him and his sisters in a Christian household that was different than mine. And so I was, aware that that was very, very important to them, and it wasn't as important to me and my family. And so in my eyes, it was kind of like extreme to the amount but that was, based on my views and not what I know now.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we start to have that awkward like first talk, or like, that I'm about to start dating your son. It's just like, but it's not confirmed yet. It's just kind of awkward. And the faith question comes up, which she had kind of, prepared me for. And she asked, so what is my faith system? And I told her, I was honest. I'm like, I know that there's something there. I just don't know what. And, she said to me, she's like, okay, that's just because God hasn't spoken to you yet.
Mm-hmm.
At the time I was like, what kind of, like, that's kind of weird. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, she was right. I just was not aware of what that would possibly mean, at
Right.
that point in time. But from then on, because we were not equally yoked, the relationship was kind of a mess. And without getting into the details, basically, my feeling on it was, well, if that's what being a Christian is, I don't want anything to do with it. And, that's hard to say now, knowing, what I know. But at that time, that's how I felt. And I was really, hurt by it. Anyway, so now I'm also no longer a senior in high school. I'm a freshman in college at this point. And there's this girl in my dorm who is like the nicest, sweetest person ever. And shout out Nat, I love you. But one night she was just like, oh yeah, guys, I can't go to dinner tonight. I have to go to Bible study. And I was like, Bible study? Like the Christian Bible study? And I was like, what do you mean you're a Christian? I'm like, you're nice to me, like, which is awful to say, but at that point, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, no way, you're nice. And now I had two conflicting views of, who Christians are and what being a Christian looks like. And one of them had to be wrong. So one of them had to be right. So I got home for winter break and I had nothing else to do. And I just felt this voice in the back of my head saying, like, that's not who I am. Let me show you who I am. And so I ordered a Bible on Amazon, shout out. And I didn't tell a soul. And I started reading, and it was kind of the same thing that Enoch was talking about last week, where he read the Bible, he let the Bible say what it was going to say. He didn't listen to what his mom said. He didn't listen to what his dad said. He read it for what God was going to say about himself. And like the veil was lifted. Like I, all of a sudden it started making sense. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait a dang minute. So it all started coming together and I was like, oh, you know? And so around this point, I'm now back at school. Me and the boy did not work out, unfortunately. So that's over, and I'm back. I know, and I'm back at school, and I'm super excited, you know, to go back because I know that Nat has connections, and so I know that I'll be able to find a community and start to dive deeper into who God is with people that know. Also, side note, if you're listening to this and you want to get involved on campus, but you're nervous because you don't know anybody, I promise you it is going to be okay. These are the nicest people I have ever met. Like I went in not being saved, not knowing anything about God really. And they literally treated me like one of their own. It was like beyond amazing. So just come. It's the best decision you'll make. But anyway, back to my story. So, you know, I'm like reading my Bible every day. I'm going to Bible study, getting connected on campus, doing the worst. But I still felt like there was something missing, you know? I still felt like I wasn't completely there. And it's because I hadn't given my outward profession of faith yet. And so flash forward to February 28th, 2020.
Shout out the day, girl.
As the most important day of my life. So we, a bunch of people on campus that were involved in ministry, we went to this worship night in New Hampshire. So, you know, it's a Friday night, you know, could be out doing other things. No, we are driving 3 hours to go to a worship night. And I get there, and that was the first time that I had experienced like God's presence so tangible in a room. I was like bawling my eyes out, like cannot get a single word out in any song. I was just like, I knew something was about to happen. Like I was just so overwhelmed with his spirit. And I was like, wow, you know? And so it got to the point where in most events, you know, they ask, does anyone want to commit their lives to Jesus or recommit their lives to Jesus? And so I raised my hand and people came over, started laying hands, praying over me. And, you know, I'm just like standing there taking it all in, and all of a sudden, you know, I'm on a beach, and there's this like beautiful sunset, like pink and orange, and it's like doing the most, you know, and the water is like calmly lapping at the shore. Like it is beautiful, it is perfect. And you know how in Cinderella the fairy godmother does like the bippity boppity boo and she like transforms into this beautiful dress.
Yes.
That's kind of what happened. Like I looked down and all of a sudden whatever I was wearing just like melted off and transformed into this beautiful white like dress, and it had these beautiful like bell sleeves, and it was just like stunning. And I was like, you know, and wait, what? And so I'm you know, standing there, and I see this person to my left, and I don't remember what he looked like, but I knew that was Jesus. And it sounded like too good to be like whack. And you know, Jesus comes and he like takes my hand, and we start like literally like just like skipping down the beach together like a bunch of besties. Like we're giggling, you know, we're having a grand old time. And it was in that moment that I knew that I was saved, and that, you know, Jesus died on the cross for me, and that I need him. In fact, I do. And that I'm a sinner, and you know, but I am redeemed by him. And so that's the rest is history, and here we are.
That is so good. Oh, that's so good. Goosebumps literally all around.
I know.
Wow. So I could end it here, but I'm not gonna end it here. So I think a recurring theme that I know comes up for me while I'm talking to other people is and what I feel came up in your testimony was judging God by how we see, like, you know, people.
Mhm.
And I kind of just want you to break that down for me as it was kind of just in your testimony and how you overcame that for yourself,
Mhm.
then pursue God for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think first it's important to remember that we are imperfect people and we therefore cannot represent God perfectly, no matter how hard we try. And we can do, the best that we can, but that's still not going to be enough. It's not going to be the perfect representation of God. That's what Jesus, was for here on earth. But I think I didn't know that before. When I was so hurt, I didn't have enough knowledge about who God was to be able to separate the two. And so it really, really hurt because I was looking in without the right lenses.
Mhm.
And so by just sitting down and deciding, I don't know what it was. It was just a feeling in my soul telling me to sit down and to read the Bible, because that is where God is laid out perfectly. He is perfectly described in Scripture, and that is what is here. And so after reading that, I was able to see, with the knowledge that I then had, I was able to see people imperfectly trying to do the right thing, if that makes sense. They were following God in the way that they thought. And of course, because we are imperfect people, it was not the fully correct way to do it.
Mhm.
But once I was able to have the mindset um, of just trying to follow God, I was able to see what people were doing, and it wasn't as hurtful, if that makes sense. But it really, really is so important to live your life following God, not following what other people are doing. Like, it's important to establish yourself in what God says, not what other people are telling you to say or like are saying of you, if that makes sense.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So, so good. So
Yeah.
good. I'm blown away for real.
Thanks.
For
I know,
real.
dude, me too.
My final thing before I leave you alone to go live your life. What, what advice, tips, something else to add on to what you just said for somebody who maybe was in your position today and could be watching this and is like, I want to give it all, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the word that keeps coming to my head is forgiveness.
Mm.
It is so important to forgive. And God says, or not God, well, Jesus, yeah. I was just reading through Matthew, and I forget who it was, but somebody asked him, well, how many times should I forgive this person who sins against me? He's like, should I forgive him 7 times? And Jesus like 7 times 77 times. Like, you just gotta keep forgiving people. And I think if you are in my position, or were in my position, or anything of the sort, remembering to forgive and to have that gentle heart and to concentrate on what God's word says, um, above all, always. Um, and to just, love God, love people, I guess.
Simple stuff, little things.
Yeah.
All right, Kat. That was so good. I'm so thankful to have heard your testimony for real. Really blessed me over here. And if it's blessed you on your side,
Yes.
make sure you share it with somebody. Follow us on Instagram @_ the restoration. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay, Restoration Movement. Follow us on Spotify. Restoration. Is it the Restoration or Restoration Movement?
It's the restoration.
The
But if you
Restoration.
spill the tea, it should
Yeah.
somewhere.
Follow us. Y'all already know what to do. Like
Yeah.
this video, share it. All right. Thank you, Kat, for joining me today and sharing your testimony. Thank y'all for listening. I love you, Kat. We love y'all on the side, whoever this may be. And we'll see you next week.
Yes. Yep.
We'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.